Hey everyone, it is 2025 if you didn't notice, and I thought I'd start the year off here on YouTube by talking about goals and goal setting. It's the time of year for resolutions. Some of us are going back to the gym for the first time in a while. You might have a list to read more books. Others might be starting to draw or really trying to push their creative paths forward this year, whatever that means to you. If you can imagine, every year I myself try to set a few goals to try and move the needle forward in a broad sense of things. And I wanted to hopefully give some advice today that will hopefully help you with that on your own journeys and kind of talk about the way that I do things and the way I set goals, because the way you set goals is incredibly important to actually accomplishing them, believe it or not. The first thing, just kind of jumping right in here to it, is, I say this a lot, but work hard without being hard on yourself. A lot of times in the creative path, the results of our efforts are not as up to us as other things in life. For example, I can work out really hard, eat the right food, and unless there's something, medically wrong with me, I will get stronger and healthier. And you will too. With art, that's not always the case. I would say it's the case when you're first learning to draw and doing the more technical things like studying, learning composition, anatomy, all the fundamental stuff. Hours of studying generally lead to better results and better drawing, given that you're studying properly and not studying too much or too little. But on the other side of things, you could already be a really proficient artist, putting yourself out there and all that, doing all the right things, and nothing is sticking. You're not getting any, quote unquote attention. You feel like you're kind of going nowhere. You're just kind of making stuff. That's kind of where I've been, I would say, the past, until last year, really, up until that point, right? And I've been on this journey like 6 years, is year 6/7, going into 7, I guess. And most of it was just, working on stuff, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticked. And then, last year something finally sort of sticked. I say that to say, like, the important thing I found over my years of doing this is just to keep your head down, enjoy where you are in the journey, most importantly, and don't worry about where you're headed. Just do what you can do right now. Set your goals right now and work towards them and have fun. Odds are you're not going to end up where you think you will, and the journey won't take you where you think it'll go. A lot of time we start out with all these these visions of where we'll be, and most of the time that's not where you're going to be. So just strap yourself in, do the work, enjoy the work, and just keep going. Another important thing with that when setting your goals is to not be too specific. Again, this is what works for me, so just as everything in this video is, so judge for yourself if this advice matches up for you. I hope a lot of it does, but some of it might not, because your mileage may vary for some of these things. But for me, I do better when my goals are not a specific thing. For example, if I restrict myself and set a goal to study X number of hours a day, I probably am not going to do it. I'll overdo it or underdo it, one of the two. But if I set a broad goal of improving an anatomy or whatever I want to study, by let's say March, it's January right now, I probably will accomplish that goal, because there's no perceived pressure, right? Pressure really kills my own willpower, kind of, which for other people it's not. Other people need more discipline. For me, I feel like I have a good amount of discipline, and kind of lose discipline if I impose too much discipline on myself. Hopefully that makes sense. A lot of the time, kind of getting back to the last point, you want your goals, or I do, to be broad and easy to accomplish, not the bare minimum, but kind of at the bottom threshold of what you, working as hard as you can while still being kind to yourself, can accomplish. If you don't do this, I've found it risks burnout and honestly just not accomplishing the goal. A lot of the time as artists, we're just looking for that feedback loop of accomplishment and achievement, the little ding in our head that says, oh, I did it, I accomplished things. For me, this helps that happen, but you don't want to be, like I said, I say this a lot too, if you're being lazy, right? I'm not going to judge you on what your goals are, and I ask that you don't do the same to me, but we all know if we're not doing enough. So just make sure you are doing enough, and you'll make things happen, I promise. The next thing is, don't have too many big goals, or maybe split them up over the course of the year if you do have a lot of goals. For example, I only have 2 goals really this year, big goals at least, relating to art. Last year I had 1. My general rule of thumb is 1 to 5 big goals at a time. If you're just starting out doing this, you don't want to be learning to draw and trying to make a living doing it at the same time, right? That's just going to lead to a huge mess, pretty much. Take one thing at a time, pick a project or two, and go after those 1 to 2 things hard, really focus in on them. Oftentimes as artists, our focus can wander. This kind of helps to prohibit that from happening. Along with having these big goals, make sure to be aware that these big goals will organize your micro goals. So, once you set these goals, figure out a way that you can work week to week, month to month. Organize a schedule that's sustainable and precise to where you can see your goals happening. And don't be afraid to change your goals as you get down the road as well. Now, this doesn't mean being lazy, like I said, but also if you set a goal that's too large and you find out it's too large, just change it. Don't let your ego trick you into thinking you're doing better than you are or worse than you are. Usually doing this whole art thing, you're finding things out about both yourself and just life in general when you're chasing your goals and just doing the thing. So if something new comes along that you learn about yourself or the world, and it kind of shakes you a bit and you don't think you can accomplish something and you realize you're maybe not as far down the path as you thought you were, it's perfectly acceptable to lower the bar a little bit. Just make sure you've actually done the work first to find out if you actually need to lower the bar in the first place. That's obviously up to you to decide. Lastly, compete with yourself, not other people. Everyone moves through the artistic journey and life, for that matter, at a different pace. Stick to your pace, don't rush it, and don't go too slow. Just be yourself and make your art within your own means and what you can do. It's fine to appreciate others and other people's artwork, but you don't want to be spending so much time and energy looking at other people's stuff that you forget about your own, or it starts to make you feel bad or anything like that. So, just stay in your lane, keep yourself in check, keep your head down, so to speak, and, maybe glance to the side occasionally, because it is good to look at other people's stuff to get inspiration, all that kind of thing, but not to the point of it, hurting you. And I have if you, do all these things and all that, I have no doubt you'll be able to accomplish whatever you set out to do this year. I thought it'd be fun to tell you here at the end of the video my goals as well. My goals this year there's only 2 of them. It's to finish the comic I've been working on, which I think we're on good track to hopefully do that by summer, but at the very least by the end of the year. I didn't really set myself a date to be done by. I'm just kind of enjoying making it just by the end of the year, really. Other than that, I'm just kind of comfortable with it taking as long as it takes. But I do have other projects I eventually want to move on to, so I am trying to get it done this year. The second goal for me this year is to monetize my art and continue to put myself out there and grow this YouTube channel. I don't really have any specific number goals monetarily or with the channel or anything like that. I kind of just want to keep working hard and continue having fun and continue down this road and see where it takes me. I'm not a very money or business oriented person. So this is, money and art is kind of a little bit foreign to my brain, at least naturally. I'm also not looking to sell out or anything here. I just feel like I've reached a skill level where I can start looking for things like, I hope, freelance opportunities, doing commissions, which, by the way, if any of you are interested in getting a commission, let me know, and doing more things like the brush pack I made over my coffee, more like little stuff. The main thing is looking for freelance opportunities and job opportunities and that kind of thing, just to kind of continue pushing myself and continue to go down the path, because I feel like I can only do this thing, I don't know, maybe solo for so long before I need the next level of improvement is to kind of get other artists' feedback and put myself into the broader world, if that makes sense. But those are my goals. I'd love to hear what yours are in the comments, and I wish you all luck with accomplishing your goals this year in 2025. I'm excited to see what the year brings us. I hope it's all good, and I wish you all the best, and thanks for watching, as always, and I'll see you when I see you.